Hey everyone, it's Horror Free For All, and I hope you're having a great day so far today. I have a massive Blu-ray haul from this past month of June 2023 to share with you all, and I picked up a bunch of cool stuff, not only in the horror genre, but also in like the kaiju monster genre, and some dramas and stuff, disaster movies. I can't wait to share with you. Now, this is the stack. So we have a lot to go over. The top of the stack is the oldest, which are these two that I picked up from Dollar General. And then the rest are literally films I picked up today, going out hunting for movies. Normally when I go out hunting, I make my rounds to Big Lots, number one, and then I'll go to a couple of Dollar Generals, I'll go to a couple of Dollar Trees, and then I'll go hit the farthest Big Lots, which is Big Lots number two, and then I'll come back home. And I did the same route that I usually do today, but I want to share with you something that happened in my Big Lots number one. They have completely decimated their physical media collection, and they've relocated it now to a hanging shelf about this tall that has Blu-rays on top, DVDs in the middle, and clearance on the bottom. And it's very sad. I probably won't be going to that location as much anymore unless they constantly restock the box. I think Movies You Buy, which is the brand that you see on this thumbnail of this video, pretty much provides all the physical media for Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Big Lots. And they even do kiosks that can be found in like grocery stores and CVS pharmacies. And I actually picked up a film from one of those kiosks in this haul. So I don't know if they're going to be able to restock that shelf kiosk at my Big Lots number one, but I probably am not going to go to that one anymore, unfortunately, and that sucks. But nonetheless, I do have a lot of cool stuff I picked up throughout the month of June here. And I want to start off with two Dollar General pickups. Now, lately, my local Dollar Generals have not been getting in jack shit. But I went to one about 15 miles away because I happened to be in the area and I saw a Dollar General. I needed to stop. I wanted to get some drinks. And I heard that they had the exclusive Maui Burst Mountain Dew flavor I wanted to try as well. So I hopped in there and I just perused around their Blu-ray standee they had it near the front of the store. And they had two movies I was willing to take flyers on. Well, you'll see why for one of them, but one of these is a slasher comedy revenge type movie I never heard of. I've seen the DVD at like secondhand stores like pawn shops and Second and Charles and stuff, but I've never seen the Blu-ray of it. And I saw that Daniel Stern, Ilena Douglas, and Kevin Pollak were in it, so I'm like, all right, for $2, I'll buy you. It's called Otis, and it's the uncut version. Apparently it's about like a serial killer that abducts this couple's daughter and they get revenge on him or something. It looks interesting. I'm hoping it's a funny horror comedy. I typically do well with these type of movies. Most of them land most of the time. Some are misses. I'm hoping this one's good though. Let me know if you've seen this down in the comment section. I've never heard anything about this. This is a raw feed movie. I think Warner Brothers is an affiliate here. Yeah, Warner Home Video. So it's a straight-to-video movie. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this, I had to pick up. I have been looking for this forever. For my schlock horror collection. Trust me, I should have picked this up when it came out. I should have pre-ordered it. And I never got around to it. And it bugged me for so long. Up until I found it earlier this month. About the price on the thing, how it's gone up to like $60. I just don't want to pay that for it. And I was in there, and I was looking, and I saw this, and I was shaking. I'm like, I've been looking for this forever. Oh my God. Finally, I have it in my collection. I think this was the last one I needed to finish it. And it's the Hammer Horror Collection. It's one of their box sets they did a few years back on Blu-ray. And this was Volume 1. I never got it. But I finally have it now. It's sealed for $10. For $10. It comes with the souvenir book inside and that houses the DVDs and stuff. I mean the Blu-rays. What am I saying DVDs for? But it comes with 1959's The Mummy, 1969's Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, 1970 Taste of the Blood of Dracula, and 1970's Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. For 4 Hammer horror movies for $10, I could not leave this there. And I was so happy that I found this, and I finally can cross it off on my want list. I don't have to ask for it for Christmas or try to set aside some money from paychecks anymore. So, really happy with that. Because I ended up saving money on this, I decided to splurge a little bit, and that's why I went a little heavy today when I purchased the rest of this haul. These were pickups I picked up, I think, like 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, earlier in the month. And I just got burnt out of hunting because I was just on a dry streak, so I took these and thought that no other store in my area is going to have anything. But today, I was making my rounds, and Dollar Tree actually had some new movies. Unfortunately, 2 of them had loose discs, and whenever there's loose discs, I always open them up to make sure that they're okay. So 2 of these I had to open to make sure they're alright, and they are okay. But I did pick up 3 films, and I want to share them with you. The first film is a Fangoria movie, I think. Yeah, it is a Fangoria movie. And a year and a half ago, people were finding these in Dollar Trees, and I was so upset I could never find one at all. Not even a slipcase. It's just laying on the floor somewhere. There was no trace of this in my local area. But I did find one without the slipcase, and it's a movie called VFW. And the main reason I want to check this movie out is because I'm a massive Karate Kid and Cobra Kai fan, and Martin Koe's in this movie. And he was in that franchise, and I just have to see it. Not to mention, William Sadler's in this. He's been in a lot of films that I love. And I just want to check this out and support it, see if it's any good. Hopefully it is. If not, I took a $1.25 flyer on it, and I'll add it to my collection. Why not? And then these 2, they had shaky discs. One of them was not advertised to be a dual DVD Blu-ray combo pack, but it was. And I remember seeing this at Big Lots not too long ago for, I think, $4. So to get it for $1.25, I was like, all right, I'll buy you. It's the Godzilla, the 2014 film. This one has Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen in it. I dug this movie when it came out. You know, I'm a sucker for good kaiju films. I love the Pacific Rim movies. I know the second one gets a lot of heat for some reason, but I really dig those. I dig most of the modern Godzilla films. I dug Peter Jackson's King Kong. I love this subgenre. I loved Rampage even. And I picked Rampage up from Dollar Tree not too long ago myself. I want to say about like 6-7 months ago. I love movies like this. Can't go wrong with Godzilla 2014. And I didn't know that I had the DVD with it, but what was rattling inside was the Blu-ray right here. It was just rattling, so I had to do something about that. But managed to save it. It was all right. Just a little itty-bitty scratch on the tip of it, but it still plays fine. And I have it in my collection now. I did not own this previously. And then this one also had a shaky disc in there too. I opened it up, and the DVD, thankfully, was the one rattling around this time. But this is the only film I ever saw from this franchise. I saw that Big Lots had the collection of these films a while back for like $10. I just didn't buy it. I didn't see the need to. And then they had this film here for like $4, and I was like, I'll pass. I'll wait to see if they end up throwing it into a Dollar Tree. Sure enough, sometimes that actually pays off when you're patient with like Big Lots and Dollar General movies for some reason. So I think they use the same distributor. But I got Paranormal Activity 3, the unrated director's cut. And I got the digital copy, the Blu-ray, and the DVD for $1.25. That's a killer deal. And the same thing applies for Godzilla. I mean, you get all that stuff for $1.25, man. You can't beat that. But this was the only one I can remember seeing in the theaters. Everything else I saw, like, straight to cable. I never even owned a physical of it, and I wasn't that big of a fan of the franchise all that much. But I did remember enjoying this one. So I thought, why not? I kind of recollect on my nostalgia fork since I saw it in the theaters. And I want to check out the unrated cut, see if it's better than I remember. I don't know. If it's good, I might try to pick up the rest of the franchise. These movies don't really do it for me, but I thought, why not? I'll pick it up. Good enough investment there for $1.25. Now, this next film, I picked it up simply because it's a film by one of my favorite directors of all time, Robert Wise. He did a lot of schlock in the 50s and 60s. A couple of war movies, couple of westerns, couple of horror films. He's mainly known for two movies, West Side Story from 1961 and The Sound of Music. And those films kind of have some controversy today, unfortunately. But for sound reasons, though. For sound reasons. Now, I was at my CVS, and I saw that they had a Movies You Buy kiosk. Movies You Buy is literally the same brand that supplies Dollar General. If you don't believe me, if you look at the back of Otis here, Movies You Buy. They're the same brand. And I've seen Movies You Buy stuff in my local Lowe's grocery store in the past. I got Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, the Universal release from I think the 35th anniversary of both of those films. I found those in a Movies You Buy kiosk, and I found a couple other cool things, like a Journey to the Center of the Earth Steelbook. A couple of wild things in the past. But I saw this, and it was a Robert Wise film I have never seen before. And I was like, I'll take a flyer on this. And I picked up The Hindenburg. This is a disaster movie I know nothing about. It seems to have mixed reviews online, unfortunately. But Robert Wise is kind of hit or miss. Some of his movies are just outright entertaining and outright classics. And some of his movies are really boring. I'm hoping that this is not the latter here. But we'll see. I'll try this out. Apparently this Blu-ray here was a Walmart exclusive at one point. I was looking up on eBay. There was a bunch of listings saying Walmart exclusive. Apparently that's what this is. I'm not too sure. But it ended up in one of these kiosks for $5. And I thought, you know what? I don't have this movie in my Blu-ray collection. I'll snipe it. Now, the rest come from Big Lots today. I went to my local Big Lots. Number one, like I said, they had a little shallow blue kiosk. It was so sad. But I did manage to pick up 2 films from them, from that location. And there's a funny story with one of these, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But to keep it on the train of Godzilla here, I went to Dollar Tree first. Or I went to this location first, and I think that's what inspired me to pick up the 2014 Godzilla. But when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I have to have this for only $3. This looks like good old classic 60s claymation cheesy fun. And it's a fight movie between 2 iconic kaiju monsters. And like I said, I'm a sucker for kaiju movies. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Sign me up. I'll watch it. I've never seen this before. I saw the remake, what was it, Godzilla vs. Kong? That movie was awesome. It definitely itched a scratch I've been wanting to see for a while. But I've never seen the original. Surprisingly. And now that I have it, I have no more excuse. It's going right in my kaiju collection so I can watch it. Can't wait to sink my teeth into this one. But funny story, the manager and I are really close. I've been going there for years hunting movies. She's actually held some stuff for me in the past when they got some stuff in that I really needed for my collection. I called them and she put them aside. Well, when I went there, she told me she was sorry that they had to get rid of their kiosk, but they put a bunch of new movies in there. And I saw on a couple people's videos, they were some locations were getting the Friday the 13th killer cut, from the remake, in their locations for $5. If I didn't already have that, I would have bought it, and I saw it in there. But I got it from a Dollar Tree just almost a year ago when I got that Evil Dead 2 35th anniversary as well from the same location. So I didn't see the need to pick it up. I left it for somebody else. But digging in there, they had this chilling in there without a sticker on it. And I couldn't believe it. And she ended up giving it to me for the same price as this one for $2.99. And it's Friday the 13th Part 2. Sealed. I'm like, there's no sticker on it. And she was like, alright, I'll give it to you for $2.99. And she just went and scanned the sticker twice and just let me go. But, man, to get this for $2.99, I know the Scream Factory box set is a must-have for Friday the 13th fans. I just don't see the need to put money into it, especially when a bunch of people have come out and said that there's certain movies in the collection that have certain scenes cut out of it for some reason, like in the New Blood disc they have in that set. And a couple other movies, the sound feels off and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to waste my money on a boutique box set when they fluff up the films. But these classic Blu-rays normally do the job. I missed the boat on getting these when they came out for like $9.99, but I've been slowly but surely acquiring them for my collection over the years. This was actually one I needed for my collection. The only other two I need on Blu-ray now are Jason X and Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. And then I have the whole set. But I actually needed this. I was just like, whoa, what a fate of circumstances here. So now I have it for $2.99. There's no sticker on it, but it's still sealed. Yeah. So that was a cool find. Alright, so the rest come from location number 2. Now, they had a bunch of stuff in there, and I went ham. I bought a bunch of stuff I just saw and wanted. I did not have this one in my collection. It's a part of the Child's Play / Chucky franchise. It's the most violent of the films, in my opinion. It's the most art house of the movies, in my opinion, as well. And I really dig this. And I low-key think it's probably my second favorite next to Child's Play 2 in the franchise. That might be a hot take, but it is what it is. For $4.99, I did not have this on physical. I have it on a digital copy. But I just needed to get this. It was The Cult of Chucky. And it comes with an extra digital copy, plus a DVD as well. So that's a great steal for this film. This is probably my favorite Don Mancini direction he's ever done in a film. That might be a hot take, but there's a lot of just eye porn in this movie. A lot of grotesque, gratuitous violence. And it's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. And I think the humor that he brought back as a contrast to the film before this, kind of reminiscent to Bride of Chucky, really works. Now, it has its flaws, but I'm not making a review on this thing. I'm just happy. I'm just happy I have this in my collection now. So for $5, sign me up all day with that. This film, oh my lord, when I saw this, I'm like, whoa, I don't know why I've never acquired this for my collection, but I'm a completionist for a couple of directors. Robert Wise is one of them. And you'll see a couple other films that kind of fit this theme in this haul here. But one director I love to collect is Robert Rodriguez. And this is my favorite Robert Rodriguez film ever made. I had to have it. And I'm so happy I own it now. For some reason, whenever I go to discount stores, I always forget, hey, you only have this film on DVD. Maybe you should look to upgrade it on Blu-ray or something. And I just never got around to doing it. But they had it in there for $5. Robert Rodriguez's Sin City. He collabed with Frank Miller. In case you didn't know as well, Quentin Tarantino also co-directed this movie. He's not credited for it, but he apparently did do directing work on one of the story portions of this film. So I think that's a cool little factoid that Frank Miller, Rodriguez, and Tarantino all did a film together. It's a visually stunning movie. I've never seen it in HD before. I haven't seen this movie in years, y'all. So I'm really looking forward to this. You have no idea. Hope it holds up just as much as I remember it. So. This next movie is another disaster movie. But I picked it up because I'm a cruise ship fanatic. I've been cruising pretty much for half my life. I'm almost platinum on one cruise line. I'm almost gold on another. I cruise a lot. That's my ideal vacation. And this is a movie about a cruise ship getting into a disaster, and I'm just like, sign me up. I don't think I've ever seen this. I've seen the original, but never seen this movie. Poseidon from 2006. The director made Troy, and I was not really a fan of that film. That's the one with Colin Farrell in it. I thought that movie was incredibly boring and kind of inaccurate historically in some areas, because I'm a trained historian. That's what I did in college. So I can really scrutinize this guy's work. I thought Perfect Storm, which he also made, was pretty good. So since never seeing this, if it's at least as good as Perfect Storm, I'll be alright. But I bought this strictly for the cruise ship aspect to it. It doesn't help that Kurt Russell's in the movie. Kurt Russell is a fucking legend, man. Just can't wait to try this one. Now, this movie, holy crap, this was like, oh, fuck yes, I'm buying this immediately. For $4.99, hell yes. Mad Max Fury Road 3D. Holy shit, man. George Miller's best Mad Max movie ever. Hands down. One of the best action movies ever made. One of the best post-apocalyptic movies ever made. No contest there. I had this movie already in my collection on Blu-ray, but I did not have the 3D version. And since this includes the 3D and the 2D, I can now replace my old 2D copy. Now, I need a slip for it, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I think there might be a 4K for this. I might need to upgrade to the 4K at some point, but I don't think the 4K has the 3D, so I'm fine with this for now. This movie's fucking fantastic. Legit a perfect movie, in my opinion. Straight up. I didn't own this in my collection, I hate to say. I mean, I have it on DVD, but now since I got this on Blu-ray, I can just get rid of my DVD, probably just dump it off to Goodwill or something. Because it's a common movie, but for $5, I was like, you know, I've never bought the Steelbook when it came out. I never got the 4K that recently came out, and that's so expensive. But to see the Blu-ray for $5, I'll upgrade to this. Why not? And it comes with a Vudu redemption code, specifically for Vudu, which I mainly use for my movie archive for online movies. So, yeah, Beetlejuice. Classic Michael Keaton film. Up there with 1989's Batman. Great movie. Alright, so these are the ones that are, for some reason, more expensive than the others. I picked this up because I'm a completionist of Rennie Harlin films. Now, some of my favorite movies ever, like Die Hard 2, came from this guy. And then he also made Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Holy shit, that movie's not the best Nightmare movie, but it's definitely one of the most fun ones. One of the most fun slashers ever made. And I saw this movie in there, in the new drop, on Blu-ray. I've never seen this film anywhere. Not a pawn shop, not a Second and Charles, anywhere on Blu-ray. I've only ever seen it on DVD. I was like, for $6, I have to get it. It's Driven. Now, I can remember seeing this movie with my grandfather years ago. And my grandfather was no longer with us. It had to be, the last time I saw this movie had to be like on TNT in the early 2000s. Because that's the only station my granddad ever watched. So, I don't really remember much about it, but I do remember there's some really crappy CGI in the film. And that's pretty much all I can remember from the movie, are the cartoony looking manholes of the film. I don't remember much else. Apparently, reviews online say that this is easily the worst Stallone film and the worst Rennie Harlin film. I don't know about that, but I'll try it out. For $6, if I get boned and this is a bad movie, it's just going to sit on my shelf in my collection anyway, so I needed it. I'm sorry. Alright. And then we got 3 left here. The first movie here was $7, and I was really apprehensive on picking this up for $7, but they only had one copy at both of my local locations, and I was like, you know what, for the gas money for me to drive over to the next town about 25 miles away and go check that Big Lots, I might as well just pick it up now and bite the bullet, because I needed this for my collection. I collect comedy movies that me and my dad used to watch when I was a kid a lot. And this is one I needed on Blu-ray. I didn't pick up the Walmart one when they had the Deadpool parody slipcover, and I kick myself in the ass every day about that. But I'll get the slipcover at some other point because I finally got it here. Revenge of the Nerds, the original with Robert Carradine, Anthony Edwards, Ted McGinley, Bernie Casey, Timothy Busfield, and Curtis Armstrong. Classic 80s comedy movie. All the sequels suck balls in my opinion, and this is the only one worth caring about. But Robert Carradine, I grew up as knowing him as Lizzie McGuire's dad, and I also grew up knowing that he was in that Body Bags movie with John Carpenter and Dan Angel and Billy Brown, who did the script on that movie. And he was in this movie. That's the only things I ever knew of him. And he was also on, what was it? Trading Spouses or Wife Swap or something. Celebrity Wife Swap. I forget what the show was, but he was on that too, like a reality episode that I saw. But classic movie. I had to get this. It's hilarious. And it comes with the Revenge of the Nerds TV pilot on the disc. So for the extra upcharge, I thought that was worth the deal. So that's why I paid the $6.99 for it. Now these last two are definitely my favorite pickups, and they were the most expensive. I saw on somebody's video that they had gotten these in, and I was like, oh man, I gotta look for this. And thankfully, they had one copy of it at my second Big Lots. And for $7.99, I picked up the Twilight Zone, the original run, Rod Serling's run. And I picked up season 2, the complete season on Blu-ray. Now, recently, I was trying to price out what it would cost to get all the DVD, all the Blu-rays of every season of this show, and it's so expensive online, it's astronomical. And I've pretty much tried to, over the years, acquire stealthily some seasons. Season 2 was a season I needed. The only season on Blu-ray I have, other than this, I have season 4, and I think I have parts of season 3 that I found in like Dollar General, like, you know, those dollar discs pack things. I found them in there. Not the Blu-rays, the DVDs though. But I need to upgrade that, unfortunately. But the only other season I have on Blu-ray, season 4, and yeah, I needed this. I'm glad I have it now. It makes the the job much more easier. When you get one super cheap, you can think in your head, well, if I paid this for this, I can put a little more money towards something else, and kind of evens out the price for both. So that's how I like to think about when I think about big purchases, like something like this would be. So yeah, and the box set, I really want the box set. That's what I'm really talking about here, but that's just so out of my price range, and I've only ever seen it one time at Second and Charles, and they were smoking crack on that price, so I passed. But really happy to get this in my collection. Super happy. And the final movie for this haul is something from my Goosebumps collection. I pretty much am a completionist with the Goosebumps IP. I literally buy everything Goosebumps I see that I don't have. And I have the DVD version of this I found at a Walmart $5 bin. But I didn't know they had a Blu-ray version of this. I had no idea. I should have kind of guessed. But I guess I was naive. And I saw people were finding this at Big Lots. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to hunt this. And it was $8.99. It was kind of steep. But I'm like, you know what? I need to have this for my collection. I don't even have 1 and 2 by themselves on their own Blu-rays. And that's something I have to get at some point. But finally, I can say I've upgraded my physical copies to Blu-ray disc if I want to watch them on physical. I do have them on digital copy already, so all these digital copies are just spares and backups. But nonetheless, really happy to acquire this from my collection. So yeah, these are all the movies I picked up for the month of June 2023. Let me know down in the comment section. Do you think I did good? Do you like some of my pickups? What pickups did you pick up for this past month? Have you visited Big Lots, Dollar General, Dollar Tree recently? Let me know. And I'll see you next time.